Hi everyone. This video is about comparing fraction and radical expression after some modification. In one case, we change the value of a fraction by adding or subtracting a constant from the denominator and numerator. We also change the value of a square root of a number by adding or subtracting a constant to it and then taking the square root of the sum or difference between the number and the constant. After we have made the changes, we see if the value of the fraction becomes smaller, larger, or equal. We have a positive fraction, which is less than 1 because the denominator is larger than numerator. We add both numerator and denominator by 1. We see that the numerator has been increased by 1 over 25, which is 4%, and the denominator has been increased by 1.25%. So the fraction has become larger. Look at the second case, which is still less than 1. We subtract both numerator and denominator by 1. We see that the numerator decreased by 4% and the denominator is increased by 1.25%. So the fraction becomes less. And the third case, we have a positive fraction which is larger than 1 because its numerator is larger than its denominator. We're adding both numerator and denominator by 1. We see that the numerator has been increased by 1 over 80, which is 1.25%. The denominator has been increased by 4%, so the fraction has been less. And the last case, a positive fraction which is bigger than 1, subtracted by a constant which is 1. Its numerator has been decreased by 1.25%, while the denominator has been decreased by 4%. So the fraction has become larger. There are 4 modified fractions in this slide. We want to see whether the new fractions are less, larger, or equal to the origin ones. In the left-hand side, we have 4 over 5. When we extend it by 2, we get 0.8. The right hand side is 5 over 6. That is, in decimal, will be 0.83. So the value of new fraction is larger than the origin. Where we have the fraction less than 1 because the numerator is less than the denominator, we have 4 over 5, which is 0.8. On the right hand side we have 3 over 4, which equals to 0.75. The value has become less. The fraction 5 over 4 is larger than 1. It equals to 1.25, and to the right hand side 6 over 5 equals to 1.20. The fraction has been less. We have 5 over 4, which equals to 1.25, and on the right hand side we have 4 over 3, which is almost 1.33. So the value has become less. Here we have a radical, and when we modify the radical, the left hand side we plus the radical with 1, and to the right hand side first we add 1 to the value under radical, and then take a square root of whole. The same we do by the example at the right hand side, but this time we subtract with 1. To get to the left hand side example, when we add 1 to the radical 400 we get 21, and when we add first 1 to the 400 and then take the square root, we get almost 20. So the fraction has been less. We go to the example where we subtract by 1. Left hand side we have 19, and right hand side we have almost 20. So the fraction has been larger. The square root of 9 has been modified by adding and subtracting to 1 in different ways. The square root of 9 is 3 plus 1 equals 4, while the square root of 9 plus 1, that is square root of 10, equals almost 3. So the left hand side has become less. There we have square root of 9 minus 1 is 3 minus 1, and the left hand side we have square root of 8, which is almost 3. So the value has become larger. Thank you very much for watching this video. Until the next video, goodbye.